Hello there, so I'm back on the Good Enough Mum page, and today I'm talking about dealing with disappointment. I'm particularly thinking about this today in relation to parenting and when our teenagers get exam results, because it can be a really important time and it can be very difficult if perhaps they haven't done as well as you and they had hoped. So I just want to think about the different things that we can do to help ourselves at this time, because if we help ourselves, that means we're going to be in a better place to help them as well. So I think the first thing to do is to actually try and reduce the stress that a bad set of results brings us. It might be that your son or daughter is feeling really disappointed, or it might be partly what they expected, but that doesn't mean that you haven't got your own feelings about the matter. And it's really important to look after yourself and to deal with your feelings. And the first thing that you can do is to try and reduce your own adrenaline levels and your stress levels by taking a few deep breaths. So just focus on your out breath and just have a moment or two where you sort of calmly breathe and maybe count, you know how they used to say count to 10. I've sort of realised how important that is, to give yourself just a little bit of time, so that gives a chance for your thinking brain to kick in, and it means that you might be a little less reactive and you might not perhaps get cross or say something that you might later regret, because whatever bravado might be showing on the outside, I'm sure your son or daughter is just as aware as you are of the importance of results, and they might be having their own difficult feelings, and so they probably need you to really take the role of parent here and to really care for them and show them that all is not lost, even if perhaps you're panicking inside. And so it helps maybe to take a few moments for yourself and to actually acknowledge to yourself the feelings that you've got. Because it's really helpful if we can name our feelings. It stops them all just sort of being this melee of different emotions and we don't know if we're coming or going, but just taking a moment or two to just be calm and think to yourself, what am I feeling? Helps you to sort of process your own emotions. And it might be that, really you're not in a place straight away to be able to respond to your son or daughter in a way that you'd prefer. So it might be that you need to just ask them how they are and then take yourself away, have a cup of tea, something that's going to help you feel calm. Maybe a quick phone call to someone who's supportive, like your partner or a friend, just so that you can be in the best place to support your son or daughter. And then it's really helpful if you can try and gain a sense of perspective. It is hard. There's so much pressure nowadays on us to be competitive, to do well, to perform well. And yet, not all of us are going to be successful academically, and we only need to look at people like Richard Branson to realise that not everybody gets good results, but that doesn't actually have to stop them. And sometimes it can actually, in a funny sort of way, be quite a good thing, because it helps children to develop they can develop a sense of responsibility. They can learn from the experience if perhaps they have to retake their exams. They might learn to be more determined. They might have to go through a process where they are rejected, and to learn what that means, that the result of not working hard might mean that they can't get very far in life, and that can actually give them a lot of motivation in the future. All that takes time, but I think it's really important to, during the time where it's difficult and you're worrying about them, is to actually take time for yourself and to give yourself time to do things that help you feel calm and at peace and feel at ease. Because if you feel like that, you're going to be in a much better place to support them, and it helps to mitigate against the sort of anxiety and the worry that might be going on in you. And if you can have time where you're just able to slow down and be calm, that actually has a knock-on effect on your own worrying and your own ruminating. And it helps you to perhaps feel a little bit more positive about what's going on. And during that time, you know, you can be there for your child, and you can encourage them, and you can hold them to what you know is really inside them. And it really helps if you can think about all the positive attributes of their character and all the things that you really love them for, that are so much more than their exam results. It can really help them to know that they're much more than their achievements, that it's them as a person who's important, and it's them as a person who's in many ways, you know, funny or beautiful or sporty, you know, lots of different attributes that they have that make them the person that they are. That's the real thing to focus on, and not on their achievements. And I think, you know, this whole process that we go through, we don't get any choice in it, but we have to be very courageous in sitting exams, in telling people our results. And it's a point at which we can experience quite a lot of shame if perhaps, you know, our children haven't done as well as other children, or we might feel it reflects badly on our parenting. But that's simply not true. There's so many different factors that can affect our children and can affect how well they do in exams. And there's no point comparing them with others, because it's just not a fair comparison. You're not comparing like with like. Different children respond in different ways, and we parent differently as well. And results aren't a measure of who we are as people. And I think that's really, really important to remember. Both your children and yourself are so much more than any of these subjective measures. I know they're important, but it is possible to get through life and learn different things, and take heart, have courage. Don't compare yourself or them with other people, because it's a very, very subjective measure. So I hope that might bring you some help if you're dealing with disappointment and dealing with disappointing exam results. Just remember to take care of yourself, because if you look after yourself, that helps you with any anxiety and worry, and it enables you to be in a better place for your children, because they're going to need you there for them as well. I've written a blog about this, so if you'd like to see that, it's at thegoodenough.com/blog. And if you think this might be helpful for other parents, then please do like and share it so that word can get around. I've sort of had a look online, and there's lots and lots of videos about children talking about their exam results, but as far as I can see, there's not very much for parents. So if you can share it, that might really help. Thanks so much for watching. Bye for now.